Hey,
Hey.
there we go. It's
we,
always
just, we just barely got in here, didn't we?
I think it's always the scramble around here. I think we're good. Oh, shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I think it's the. I even forgot that. We've had our grandson up here for a week, so he gets up really early, and he's kept us going here pretty good today.
Are we just trying to see if I see a comment if we're live or
We're
everything
fine.
okay?
We're fine. Yep. And there's Terry. See, so we're set. How much better can it get around?
Thank you for staying up, Terry. Terry took his boat out for a couple of days, he and his wife, and it turned cold. They went out and they were in shorts and t-shirts, beautiful, and came back in jackets. So
Terry's our admin guy that helps us with our video website. He's an amazing guy, and he's British, but
we won't know that against him.
I'm able to overlook that, but he's a very talented guy, and that's Terry on here to put the hammer down on any unruly guys. And Captain Mike, he can't get enough of us on here. So we just did our live show on our video website. Now we're on YouTube getting it, and the dogs are kind of going nutty. I'll try to turn this up a little bit so I can
Thank you.
see it better. South Carolina. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, we're just doing there seems to be a
I know. It's
delay.
Just quit worrying about it. There's always a delay. So.
That's our peacock, in case you're wondering. He sort of screams, and his wife is sitting on eggs. So he is very territorial now, and he is protecting his turf, and we're all the enemy all of a sudden. So it's quite comical. I can't go get in my car without having a stick to beat him off, but I'm hoping that once these baby peacocks hatch, he calms down a little bit, because I'm not going to walk around my yard and be scared for very much longer. But he's just doing his daddy job, so.
It's a big bird.
It's a big bird.
He's a big bird, and he hooks you with those spurs. You're going to know it. So we get a little worried about him doing that. And of course, the lab is we just fed all the dogs. So the two labs are here raising hell. That's my new puppy.
Give me that. Give me that.
Hi from Kentucky, South Carolina. Devil dogs on here. We got them all. Show the puppy teeth.
My grandson brought up his butterfly farm, and now it's just riddled with holes from the new puppy. So, and we were just on our site, and I love that. I love our video site that we've got. We get on the weirdest topics sometimes, and
they were so good for an Zena, get over here. Come on, get up here. There's Coda.
oh my!
Somebody asked about getting back to the old. No. I invested way too much time, energy into YouTube just to have them throw it all away and allow those phonies to do whatever the heck they wanted up there. And so yeah, I pushed YouTube's buttons. That takes two to tango. I get it, but I'm not going to go through all that trouble again just to have them start deleting videos and screwing around with me on there, put me in YouTube jail and all that stuff. It'll never come back. And I have the same effect on my own video website, except they don't come down up there. Their names go out, Google, powerful stuff, but no. I'll do some of these. I post up the teaser videos, but I will never be just blasting up phony Navy SEAL of the Week videos anymore, so YouTube can just jerk me around and rip those things down. There's too much work involved in it.
But we just finished our live stream. We do an hour every Sunday, starting at 6, and I just got so tickled. We just belly laugh on there. We can say anything we want to, and I collect vintage T-shirts. So tonight, if anybody can see this is my zigzag, a cigarette paper shirt. I just collect vintage stuff. So we got on smoking dope back in the day. We get on drinking. We get on sex. We get on anything we want to, because it's our site and we can talk about anything. But I just got a case of the giggles or something tonight. I have straight laughed for about an hour, and now I'm just whooped. I'm tired from laughing so much. We have a good time on there. got a bunch of good guys and gals.
So you guys asked about that Beckett book, that last phony seal I busted. He's up on my site. He wrote a book, and he's changed the wording around now about him in his SEAL days, because he never did serve in the military. And somebody sent me a link to Saudi Arabia. His book is selling for over $100 in Saudi Arabia. They ain't going very far. That's just the price up there. I think it was Saudi Arabia. They had it was one of the Islamic countries over there. Hey, Coda. Sorry, man. They've been good here. Come here. That's her. She's doing it to him.
Go block her out.
Thanks, Rob. Hey, Zena, come here. Come up here. Let's everybody see my fantastic new. What's in the cup? That's a
Actually,
screwdriver. Mine is a screwdriver.
mine is coffee.
Come here.
Mine's coffee.
Get up here.
I drink coffee all day long. And I don't have to have a drink to have a good time anymore. I sort of used to.
There's my pretty girl right there. She's so black you can't make out any features. Her eyes, everything is solid black from head to toe. There's not a speck of white on her, so it's a little hard to make out any features, but she's fantastic. You know, the website, I was thinking of getting on later there this week. What's the issue with the website? No issue with the website.
You must have been on a really long time ago. We got it worked out, and there's a thing up there. I mean, we do very good. Some people get on Google Chrome. Some people just get on the regular stuff. But our web designer, there's a button up there you can hit, and he'll just walk you through it and tell you what you need to be on. But we don't have any issues with the website anymore. It's working fine.
The only problems we ever really had was the amount of content that's up there. And then all the questions or comments that people make on all the videos, just like YouTube, it would slow the loading down. So he has straightened that out by cutting off the comments after the video's been up for a few days. You just can't keep commenting on it months after it's been up. And some of the new browsers, they just come out with different browsers all the time. Just different ones. Google Chrome works fantastic. I'm on, what is it, Internet Explorer. Works fine for me, but we haven't had any issues that have not been corrected quickly.
Thought your wife was dead of old age. Surprised that you two are still starting shit.
You know who that is?
No.
That's Richard. What did he write up there? Let me just go back a little bit, because I know Richard real well. Go back just a little bit. I'll point him out to Terry. Thought your wife was dead of old age. Surprised you two are still starting shit. Well, if you guys Google Richard Sheets, that guy, you'll see he was a nothing in the Navy. He was a flipping E3 that got out, and he's just got a little hard on. He's a phony. Him in his commando days of using a hatchet. And if you Google him up there, you'll see his mugshot on these various websites, and him getting his ass exposed on a Guardians of Valor. This ain't hell for being a phony. So Richard's got nothing to do, and I get Terry to send his pussy ass on the fuck on out of here. Clown. There you go.
Man, they're
the
well lip tight
videos
tonight.
are gone. Which one's about Bernath? Don knows because you're pissed. Because he got me kicked off of YouTube. If I had a nickel for every guy that claimed to have gotten me kicked off of YouTube, you phony. And it's all the phonies that do it. Who's the Frank Dux? He's the guy that phony got after, what is that, Jean-Claude Van Damme and all that other crap on there. And, he claimed to have done it. All the phonies claimed to have done it. It's like shooting Jesse James or who was that they got? I don't know. But they all want to try to claim that shit, so I don't know if Terry's on here still, but we'll get it. Yeah.
Let the dogs back in? No way. They are wound up. That puppy is wound up tonight, so I just threw them out the front door. They'll probably come in the back, but just to give them a breather.
All right, let me get it.
Not three little buttons over there, is there?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's just a little
Oh, there you go.
distracting guy, and we'll get rid of him real quick, and the world will be a better place.
There you go.
See ya.
And that's why we
But
like
yeah.
our private channel.
His name is Sheets, Sheetz, Richard Sheets, and he was a little weenie in the Navy, but he claimed to have been killing guys with hatchets as this super secret ninja commando. I didn't even have nothing to do with him, but see, it's just like they want to take out the big guy on the block or something. It's like Bernath. I never did a damn thing to Bernath. Nothing. Bernath just. I'm going to voice how upset I am of being called a phony, so I'm going to go after the big guy on the block, and that's Shipley. I never had a damn thing to do with that Richard Sheets guy. He's mental. He's got a lot of problems with the law enforcement, and just being a phony and telling these terrible stories of using the hatchets and everything else. It's worth Googling his name and seeing that clown up there. But, so he just lurks. He's a lurker.
Well, thank you, Robert Hill. That made my day.
What'd you get?
I just make his day when he sees me.
Okay,
Do we? What
there you
about
go.
Marcus?
Okay, so I just scrolled that thing down a little bit. We'll try it again.
Okay.
Post the website again, please. Yeah, it's you can find that website googling about anything. Don Shipley videos, phony seal videos. Only there a lot of that stuff when you search phony seal videos. Even though Bernath has been dead for a few years, those videos he used to do about me are still up, and people say them all the time. You know, saw some of the videos. Well, that's not mine. Those are Bernath's, and Bernath committed suicide, so he's gone. Any guys out have done time for stolen valor? Yes, absolutely. It depends on how you look at it. Like Bill Brockbrader, playing with fire with that. You know, he went back for failing to register as a sex offender. It's usually on unrelated things to the stolen valor, but it comes out because they were out. And the first guy, really why I started all this phony SEAL stuff, was from a fake Marine that got after us. It's a long story. I talk about him up there. But he went to jail for 3 years for wire fraud because we went after him for being a lying-ass fake Marine. And so it's unrelated. Bill Brockbrader did it because his name was all over the place for the stolen valor. Now he's starting to fail to register as a sex offender, so it gets unrelated. A.J. Dickin, I went after A.J. Dickin, and they didn't get him for stolen valor. They got him for a felon in possession of weapons, automatic weapons, and from the video that we did. So a lot of it's unrelated, but if stolen valor was easy to prosecute, and God bless the police and FBI, they got better shit to do than to deal with these guys. And there's guys like me and some others out there that will really go after them, but no, sometimes it's no different than spitting on the sidewalk for them.
Oh, God.
Here she comes. So, yeah.
We're about to have it again. Have I ever put the sack down on him? Oh, honey. Yes, I have put the hammer down on this man more times than I can count. We've been married almost 40 years. And anytime you see anybody that's been married for 40 years, they have been through some shit together, that's for sure.
Yeah. Let me you find something nice, and Diane keeps looking nice. Diane always looks nice, so.
Just goes so fast I can't hardly see. What are you looking for?
I'll tell you what.
Oh.
I'm gonna risk gooning this all up.
No, don't. Don't.
I'm doing the. I'm having a screwdriver here for East Coast time. I'm a Navy SEAL, and you won't do. Slow mo's is on. See, Terry, our web guy, is all over this thing. So yeah, we got all kinds of fake SEALs on here, and just everybody's just got a problem. And I'm more money, I'd be a full-blown prepper. How the hell are you guys set up to weather the
We didn't used to be preppers, and I guess that the real preppers out there that really, really take it so serious wouldn't even consider us preppers. But
Guys,
I'm gonna have to put them out. Put them out and then lock that screen door. But Don and I are sort of, and have been for several years now, sort of preppers. Probably lazy preppers is what you'd call us. But we have always sort of stockpiled some water and a lot of canned food and things like that. Just shut the screen door and lock it.
there, I just got them out that far. Let's
I
go
didn't know if it was going to interfere with the
It's not.
live stream or not.
It's not.
Yeah, but we have, and we're not the kind of people that run out and start stockpiling stuff like in a pandemic like this was right now. But when people first started talking about it, no, we did. We weren't hoarding toilet paper and paper towels and things like that, but just every time that we would go grocery shopping, we'd probably buy twice as much as we really needed to. And I have a mudroom out there, a fairly large mudroom that's always a mess. And I've just got some of those plastic shelves that stack together, you know, that you can get at Walmart or Home Depot. And we've got that filled up with some canned goods. And certainly because we do have so many animals, we started really getting a lot of our animal food and stuff. So yeah, we are probably considered lazy preppers, but we are. And if any word ever came down that the shit was even possibly about to hit the fan, we'd be full blown. We would. I've been caught through some terrible tornadoes and hurricanes when my husband was deployed and just me and my daughter at home. And I've been without electricity for 2.5 weeks. That might not seem long to some of you that live in New Orleans or places that have really been hit hard, but for a woman alone with a little girl, 2.5 weeks with no electricity, it was brutal for us. And I'll never be caught with my britches down again. Do pretty good about being prepared, don't we?
Yeah, we're prepared. We're fine here. We got plenty of deer to shoot. If it got bad, turkeys, go out here, right here fishing. You know, that's the bay right there. So it helps when you're around there. There's nobody around here. We're pretty isolated out here.
We've been thinking about all you guys too. We were talking about it on our site earlier. Dawn and I, fortunately, we're old people, so we're semi-retired. We don't have to work outside the home. But for you guys that are really struggling with this lockdown and stuff, we just think about you every single day. And I think that people are starting to sort of open things back up, and I hope that will help everybody, because I know it's been hard.
And you see that Jake up here saying, I won't do shit about it because he's a SEAL. I can tell you that. I'm not going to do shit about it, but you're not a SEAL. SEALs don't talk to SEALs like that. So Jake on here is a phony. Whenever Terry gets a chance, we'll block his non-SEAL ass. So there you go. And somebody was asking me something. I see somebody's son's on the USS Nimitz. Good for you, man. That's a floating city. Big. So my best, your son. Send him a well done, and one hand for yourself, one for the ship.
And Daniel, no, we'll never run Extreme Seal again. We'll never do that again. We're too old. And Extreme Seal experience, I don't know what people thought, because we'd have people come from China, from Germany, from Australia, from Austria, from all over the world. And we'd be getting phone calls at 4 o'clock in the morning. There's such a time difference, but I don't know if people thought we had like secretaries that took the phone calls and if we had people to set everything up, but we did not. We did every bit of that ourselves from start to finish, and it was exhausting. And besides just the physical running of the course, we did a lot of dangerous shit. We threw people out of helicopters, live rounds, and we took them as young as 15, 16 years old. So when you're talking about young men and live rounds, the mental stress of making sure that, thank God, we never really hurt anybody, never had accidents or anything, but uh, the reason there were no accidents is because of all the thought and the prep that went into every single minute. And so the mental part wore us out, didn't it?
Somebody beat me up here about the difference between SEALs and Delta Force. Delta Force is a different mission. And that's the Army Special Forces, and our equivalent to them in the Navy is Dev Group, SEAL Team 6. Just a different mission from the other SEAL teams that are out there. It's counter-terrorist. So there's not really any difference between Dev Group and Delta Force. I think the Dev Group guys have the market cornered on water. That's where that all started with Marcinko. We need the guys for the water as well, counter-terrorist thing, but we do a lot of the water stuff. But the SEAL teams, it's a different mission. They don't have the counter-terrorist mission unless there's nobody around to help out with that. Delta Force and Dev Group are the counter-terrorist guys. Yeah.
Somebody wants to know if you get along with Jesse the Body.
I feel terrible for that guy. I feel terrible for him. I think he did a great job as governor. I was hoping for some bigger things. I don't have a bad thing to say about him. I don't have anything bad to say about Chris Kyle. I don't think Chris Kyle should have said that, that he punched him. I wasn't there, but I think if I was Jesse, I wouldn't have liked that either. And so it's too bad the way it went down. But I've talked to his brother a lot. His brother was in underwater demolition team before Jesse was. Jim Janos, Jan Janos and Jim Janos, the Janos brothers, now Ventura. So up around China sounds like where I was below the 7 feet. And I don't like our chances if it comes there. Yeah, spent most of my first years in the Navy with the 7th Fleet right there in Yokosuka. I don't like it either over there. The Chinese guys, but they're in for a hell of a fight if they keep picking shit at us. That's for sure.
Hello from Bulgaria.
Bulgaria. There
How
you
cool
go.
is that?
James. I know James was a common name in Bulgaria. Unless is that a common name, Bulgarian name, or are you an American in Bulgaria? Howdy from Bulgaria. See, it just isn't. That's my perception. You don't sound like a Bulgarian saying howdy and having a name like James. I don't doubt you're in Bulgaria, but what's the deal? Are you an American expat living over there? Some gig job?
Do we talk to Marcus Luttrell? Not on a daily basis, that's for sure. But when Marcus or his brother Morgan want to bust a phony seal, this is the guy they call. That's usually when we're talking to Marcus.
They're always bumping into somebody they want me to check a name on their thing. So. A lot of guys ask me about guns, platforms. Somebody asked about an AR platform. Dudes, I don't know, man. I just shoot them. And I'm really good at shooting them. But I never got into ballistics and rounds and, what's my favorite. I just shoot them. And so AR, if it puts a 5.56 bullet at the end of the barrel of that thing, it's a fine gun for me. I like an M14, and that's what I carried in SEAL teams, the M14. I always thought an AR was just like a little. You just want to take that little bullet and go Gucci. 7.62. It takes 2 rounds. The only downfall of a 7.62, 308, and M14, it takes 2 rounds to kill somebody with. One to knock the trees down he's hiding behind, and the second one to get him. So I never liked the twang of an AR, that spring in my ear. Good old 308 round. Man, more manly round. Just...
We've not seen Sawman's move yet, but I can't wait to do it. I just love him. I love what he's doing. And you know how all that stuff got started was because his daughter. His daughter was abducted, and that's what got Craig to start that stuff. I just love him and his wife and what they're doing. So we look forward to seeing it. We just have not yet. And we have got people on here from Norway tonight. We've got Australia in the house. We've got Bulgaria in the house. We're so glad.
How about a sling? I never used a sling much. I did, but we didn't have them for like I never had one for the M14 or the 8Rs. I had a sling for the M60 when I would carry that. We had a sling, a breakaway sling for the MP5s, and we would use that. But just as far as slinging a gun or having a sling, we didn't do a lot of that. When we'd climb ships or something or swim with them, and have them snapped or buckled in, but I wouldn't know.
Texas, Florida, we just got everybody.
I would try
Oklahoma.
I'll try to turn this thing around a little bit, but every time I start screwing around with something, I screw it up. So I will do this. This is microphone. One of our subscribers sent us this big ass microphone thing. I hope that gets it up enough for you. But if I start screwing around with any of the volume on there, I'll just lose the whole damn thing because I'm old and stupid too.
New Hampshire, Oregon. We went to Oregon one time to bust a couple of phonies. It actually was a father and son. Both of them were phonies. That was the most beautiful place. The whole time we were there, it was just sort of like a drizzle of rain, and everything was so green. And we went to a place called
Coos Bay.
Coos Bay. That's where we went. So we're driving up by the water. Absolutely a beautiful, beautiful state. I wish we could have stayed longer. I love that.
Yeah. Except for the phonies. You guys got to get rid of some of those. Don't send them here. We need to just keep pushing them west. Send them all to California.
Oh, God, we got Tennessee's in the house. Yay,
Germany,
hey, from Tennessee.
Mississippi. We got them all coming down. There's Michigan. We're dealing with I got a good SEAL buddy up in Michigan. He's done well for himself, and we have a little boy with cancer. We've done some videos on him, and he's in bad shape. Too bad to come down here. He's a little too young to hunt for what we do. So I got a buddy in Michigan, and they are a terrible lockdown up there. If you can imagine, they're in this cancer ward at the children's hospital, and now this COVID thing has made it even worse. And the parents not working. It's just bad all the way around. But my SEAL buddy up there is hooking them up. He's got this nice chateau on the water up there, and so they're gonna go up there this summer and hang out with him since I can't get him down here. We'll flip the bill for that one. So do things from a distance here. They don't all have to come here. We can do things from a distance for them, especially those kids with cancer. That's just a terrible. That's a bad deal, man. Bad deal.
That's right.
West Virginia, any Sark in the Navy.
I'm sorry, guys. We do have it on slow mode, but they're just coming so fast. I'm having a tough time just keeping up and reading your questions. I apologize for that. I'm getting a little old here.
I know who you're talking about with Pat Stone, but no, I don't know him. Don't know him. Canucks, the Canadians. I was just on my video website telling my fat Canadian story. That's a good one. I got in trouble from a fat Canadian guy. There's not a lot of fat people in Canada. I think we got a bunch of them here, but I think
No, where in the hell did you hear that?
Well, Labrador doesn't have Labrador does not have a lot of fat Canadian guys. I bumped into one, and he damaged the rental vehicle that we had up there, and then I had to explain that to my command and how the vehicle was damaged. And the executive officer looked at me after I got done telling him this story with this straight look on my face, and he goes, "Shipley, are you blaming this on a fat Canadian?" And I said, yes, sir, I am.
Our ship pulled into Canada. We were up in Victoria, and of course, over the 1MC, the captain is addressing everybody and telling you not to do this, not to go there, and to watch out for the Canadian beer. Well, what do you think the entire ship did? Everybody ran to the first bar, and everybody was down in that Canadian beer, and everybody was shit-housed. I don't know what it is about the Canadian beer, but everybody was bitching about y'all's cigarettes are terrible, but the beer is good.
Eddie Gallagher guilty? No, I don't think Eddie Gallagher's guilty. And be surprised how little Well, I care, knowing what I know about those clowns they're fighting over there and how tired those guys are. You're asking an awful lot from these guys in that long, bloody war over there. So they're tired, mistakes get made. Going on 20 years of that, and Eddie's been in the muck of it for his entire career. So, no, I'm not sweating some kid that did his best to kill every one of them, not even a little bit. Don't. No, you won't find many SEALs out smoking cigarettes. That's for sure. That's for sure. Molson Golden beer. We did our training, winter warfare training in Labrador, Canada, and we did it on a joint base up there. It was a Luftwaffe base, a German Luftwaffe. It was theirs anyhow. We got approached by some Canadian guys. Found out we were in town. It's not hard to miss a whole platoon of SEALs, and they invited us over to their bar to booze it up with them one night. And a bunch of us went over there, and we quickly found out all they had us there was to make fun of us. So what they had was the bar had an Indian theme, and the Indian tradition, I guess, was they would drink with their left hand and smoke a pipe with their right hand. And every time one of those clowns caught you with your drink in your left hand, you had to buy everybody beer. And that's all they did was watched us. They had us all in there, and they were just making sport of us. Ah, there's another one over there. There's another one. We beat them all up and destroyed that bar, and then we left. We had just about enough of how funny you clowns are. So, I don't think they want us back in any of the drinking with your right hand. We're going to fine you, or left hand, and fine you every time we catch you doing it. So, big mistake, guys.
You know, we've never been to the UDT SEAL Museum, and I am really embarrassed to say that. Just for years, we were running those courses, and they ran from spring all the way to winter. And then when we shut the courses down, of course, it was a huge move because we have lived there for about 28, 29 years, moving up to the Eastern Shore and then trying to get this charity off the ground so that we could host the wounded guys. And we just haven't ever been, but I certainly want to because I think we're the only ones in the world that have not been, and everybody says it's spectacular.
I worked with the Australian SAS. And great guys. We had a really good time with those dudes. They are really shit hot. We had a great time with them. And in Britain, we work with this special boat service. We don't do much with the British SAS. We work with their Navy SBS, Special Boat Service. So,
Could you just scroll down for the assault boat coxswain stuff? I actually went through that school, and I passed, and I came out of there with bloody knuckles and bloody knees. I was, what do you call it when you're like the honor student of the class? I don't know how, but I meant to get through that stuff. I was the only woman going through it when I did it out in Coronado, and I'd have to lean back against that thing and put my foot up there to get that thing in gear to go. But by God, I passed that thing. And Don was stationed there for a couple of years.
that's where I became a SEAL from Assault Craft Unit 1.
Yeah.
Coronado. Army assault boats.
Yeah, we're pretty close to Ocean City. It's about 40 minutes from here or something like that. So you can just sort of take the back roads and get in there, so you're not having to get in traffic or anything. It's pretty close.
You guys on here there's a lot of really funny guys on here. They're talented. So Dave, I'm sorry, buddy, you nailed me there. I'm trying to think of the awkward moments. I know I've got a few. I probably couldn't tell all of them, but. Somebody said something about serving on the Ponce. I actually deployed on the Ponce twice. We did an entire med cruise on the Ponce. One of my platoons at Team 2, and then I went back on the Ponce for a quick trip to Liberia. And the Ponce was known as the Proud Lion. And there were a few morale problems on there, but they had a lion that would go on the quarterdeck. So when you set up a quarterdeck when the ship's in port, they would take that lion and put it right there as guys are coming off and going on board the ship, and dignitaries and visitors and everything. You would see that lion there. And when you came on board the Ponce, the lion had it was chained to the quarterdeck because all the drunks would throw it overboard when they'd come aboard the ship. And it didn't have any teeth. It was a big lion like that, and all its teeth were kicked out from the sailors. They kicked that thing in the face when they walked by it. But I always got a kick out of that lion being chained to the quarterdeck so nobody could throw it over the side.
No, I didn't hunt Don down at the Coronado bars. I actually met him on a ship that I served on as well. I didn't chase him in the bars. I chased all the lifeguards in the bars. Nope, I was in the Navy too.
There you go. Diane's from New York City. Diane's born and raised in New York.
My accent is from the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. That's where I'm from.
Yep, I'm a twice shellback. I got my ass busted, and then I got to bust some ass. So, yeah, good times. I guess they don't do that shit much anymore. It's just terrible what the Navy is just... I wouldn't last a day. I'd be in handcuffs. They put me back in the Navy, I'd be in handcuffs in about an hour.
Somebody on here saying, check me out, check me out. That was one of the funniest busts ever. And that is not why we went there. We actually were in New Orleans doing a training course on an old rig called the Charlie, the old Charlie or something like that.
Mr. Charlie.
Yeah, Mr. Charlie. And before we headed out to come back home, we let all the boys sort of have a free-for-all on Bourbon Street. And I think Dawn and I were getting ready to go in a restaurant and eat or something, and a bunch of the young boys came in. Senior, we got a Navy SEAL on the corner, and there he was, and he was a big and mean looking and loud.
No, the Navy really doesn't. They really never have. They've done these summer courses sometimes for different things. I started the Sea Cadets, the Boy Scouts in the Navy. I wish they would. They put a little bit more into it. A lot of the services have recruiting tools for their areas. The Marines do a fine job with some of their stuff and getting these in, but the Navy doesn't really have any kind of real prep school thing for SEALs. I did an Extreme SEAL, and there's just no substitute for what we were doing out there. So, not really. Not really. The Navy has any dedicated thing where guys can go and get ready for it. If they did, they'd get a lot more guys through BUDS. A lot more guys. Knowledge is power. And you get there, and we had some guys that would go through Extreme SEAL and would decide after that not to go to BUDS. And they'd thank you for it. Man, I had no idea. And that's where all that line of quitters comes in from BUDS. They don't have any idea. And some guys would do it. Other guys would get so motivated. It was everything they wanted, and they would go. And we got SEAL officers. We got guys over at Dev Group now that have been through our course, and all the snipers and combat vets. And unfortunately, one of the kids that went through our course many years ago, Patrick Beeks, was killed as a SEAL, unfortunately. So
I didn't do anything. You'll have to remember that I was one of the first females on a ship. It was the USS McKee and the USS Ajax. Both were sub-tenders. Those were the first two ships in the military that allowed females. I never did anything to make a difference. It was sort of an experiment. I had a good time. I worked my butt off. I loved the Navy. I loved being on a ship. But as far as doing anything that made a difference or made an impact, we were all just guinea pigs. They were just seeing if men and women could be stationed together on those ships, and it worked. But I never did anything special. But I liked it. I was a bosun mate. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be out on those weather decks and do real Navy stuff. I didn't want to be in the belly of that ship doing admin, which is what they had me doing in the beginning. But never did anything. Just had a good time. Best time of my life.
And we had some fun on that ship. The funnest part I saw was her being escorted below in a bikini. One master at arms in front of her. Master at arms is a police guy in the Navy. They had him on the ship. One was in front of her and one was behind her. And she had her towel and was in a bikini, and they were taking her down to the master at arms office like they'd made the bust of the century because she was sunbathing in one of the ship's boats. I'll never forget. I was like, look at those fucking morons. What an asshole.
Hey, there was nothing going on. There wasn't a thing going on. It was downtime. Everybody was having lunch, and I thought, I'm just going to go up here and get me a little bit of sun. I didn't think a thing of it. I'm from Tennessee, didn't know anything about the military, and I just put my little bikini on and went right up there and laid out in the sun, got greased up, and got in big trouble.
I was in the regular Navy for about 5 years. Why didn't you become a basic training instructor? Navy? What, like a what do they call them in the Navy? Like
I can't even remember what they are. Like
well,
a boot camp instructor?
like a boot camp instructor?
That's
No.
not really high
I
on
did that.
anybody's priority list, I don't think.
I was in the BUDS instructor for advanced SEAL trainings. BUDS does much, much more than just what you think BUDS does, training new guys. All the SEALs go to a lot of different courses at BUDS for advanced training. Diving supervisor, jump master, all different kinds of things are taught at BUDS. And I did that on the East Coast. So.
No, that wasn't the captain's gig. That wasn't the that was a different time. And
What, when they found your bra in there?
yeah,
Oh boy, we had
that was a different time.
I told that ship is in mothballs. And if they'd ever go in there, some of the places we frequented with a black light, they'd think we'd been slaughtering livestock in there or something. We had a good time on that ship.
Yeah, we did, and it really didn't work out too good. The men and women underway together, but they'll never admit that. So they just rolling with it, and that's okay.
You put men and women together, and some shit's gonna happen. That's for
Yep,
sure.
that's the way it goes. It's just so.
Basic instructor. I don't know. SEALs, every SEAL platoon is typically a 16-man platoon. And that 16-man platoon is broken down into two squads. So 8 and 8, Alpha Bravo. And in every SEAL platoon, there is 2 of everything. It's required. You have to have it. And you work very hard to get all that before you're able to deploy, combat-ready deploy overseas. A lot of people think when some kind of conflict happens that every SEAL just grabs his gun and goes running over there. They don't. You have to be combat-ready certified platoon to deploy over there. You can sit there all day long and watch Panama go down and shit like that if you're not that. So there's 2 of everything. There's 2 corpsmen, there's 2 radiomen, there's 2 armorers, there's 2 outboard motor repair guys, there's 2 diving supervisors, 2 static line jump masters, 2 free fall jump masters, 2 rope masters, 2 cast masters. There's 2 of everything. 2 snipers. You have to have it. All that. So the platoons can operate independently. The squads can't. So one squad can go to Afghanistan, the other can go to Iraq, and they can operate independently and conduct jumps, dives. They can do all that because they have that in the platoon. So armorers, we would send guys to basic armor school for SIG. Different to be able to repair the weapons and different things like that. Yeah, so it wasn't anything high speed. I never liked doing. We had some really thankless shit that guys had to do. Dash 2, when you fly on military aircraft with lithium batteries and fuels and oils and outboard motors and demolitions and bullets, you've got to write out these insanely whatever. It's a requirement, and it's a thankless gig that somebody has to do. You have to have 2 guys that are able to do that. So you got to go to school to fill all this crap out correctly. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff I never really wanted to do like that. So I avoided it.
Tell Tommy Thompson that I said hello. I've not seen him in years and years and years. but I do know Tommy Thompson. Well, we have had our grandson here for over a week, and we are sort of exhausted. That 3-year-old has run us ragged, and so forgive us if we're not making much sense or on our game tonight, because we're not used to that, and he gets up very early in the morning, and we're in need of sleep.
Gun deck walls. I don't know if we'd call them pencil dives. We would gun deck dives. Sometimes you were required to do so many dives, and sometimes there just was not enough hours in the day to get all that done. And we'd call them pencil dives. Take care of that. Just let it go. I mean, we're fine. They didn't put up with a bunch of that silliness in buds, if that's what you're referring to. Now, buds was a different story, but even buds, if you were that guy, and you were a good dude, and they wanted you to get through, as long as you weren't dangerous in the water or dangerous with a gun, they'd do about anything to get you through that training if they wanted it. And everybody needed help somewhere. I probably never should have got through buds for mathematics, dive physics. But dive physics, because in buds, you are a Navy diver. They are turning you into a Navy diver, but we are not Navy divers. Navy divers go deep, and they have to decompress, and they have to learn all this crazy shit. There's no reason for a SEAL to go below 20 feet, because we're on those bubbleless rebreathers, and we're attacking ships and submarines. The only time we ever go below that is when we're out there catching lobsters and spearing fish and shit. And so dive physics, I couldn't understand it. I couldn't get it. I was a rock, and I failed the test a couple of times. They should have thrown me out, but they helped me get through. I'll just say, put it to you that way. They wanted me to be a SEAL, and they helped me get through that, because they knew you were never going to use that as a SEAL, ever. You were never going to have to figure out a dive physics problem when you're down at 10, 15, or 20 feet. So it would be things like that, but they rarely would do anything else. They'll do anything to help you through, but there's a line.
I'll be happy to slap him in the head. I slap him in the head all the time, but Terry has put up here 3 or 4 times the link to donate. We appreciate it very, very much, but that's how you do it. It's the link that he's put up here.
Yeah, I'm not going to travel out to do a podcast. I never know. I mean, we're doing a podcast right here, I would guess, but Jocko or something like that, I don't.
Jocko has invited him and have an open invitation. Marcus, he has an open invitation.
I got a farm to run here.
Yeah, but do we have a favorite vacation spot? I don't know what Don would say, but Costa Rica is mine. For several years, we would go and stay for about a week, and we went on, well, we've been to both. We've been on the Manuel Antonio, and we've been to the Caribbean side. The Caribbean side is my favorite. It's just anything goes, and it's so out there. Monkeys all over the place. I love it, and we were going to retire there. That's where I wanted to retire and live, and then we'd stayed about a month. And I changed my mind. I'm going to retire in the United States of America, where shit gets done and people don't steal everything out of your backyard. But I sure do like vacationing there. That's for sure. We stayed on a big farm, and it was awesome.
No, I'm not coming back to the West Coast. I somehow made a career. I was talking about that the other night. I left the West Coast, SEAL Team 1, to come out east to get my son off of a skateboard. I did not want him growing up on the pavement in San Diego on a skateboard. Get him out, get him a gun, Team 2, and I stayed right there. And every time something shitty would come up, they would call me and Command Master Chief, and they'd go, "You got to do this, because you're the most senior guy here, longevity-wise. You have to go. You're going to go to the West Coast and become a BUDS instructor." And I'd go, "Oh my God, no way, man. I got a farm here. I'm raising the kids here. No. And somebody would jump on that grenade for me. Some other chief would do it. And then they wanted me to go to D.C. and do some thankless gig in D.C., and some other chief did it for me. I somehow managed to get out of all that, and I thought about that last night, and both those chiefs are dead now. Not that it had anything to do with it, but the guys that jumped on grenades for me by doing that. So, no, we stayed right there, and we'll stay right here. I have any desire to go back to the West Coast, but I certainly did not want to transfer back there. So,
Susan, thank you so much. I don't know how you can even see out there, but we're surrounded by water on 3 sides, and that was, other than having the facilities to start the charity for our wounded guys, that was the big draw. But we have beautiful views. There's just water everywhere. I just watch boats and ducks and geese flying everywhere, so thank you. It is pretty. It's, or on 80 acres out here, so you don't have any traffic. Occasional plane or helicopter flies over, but it is very private and relaxing here.
there you go. I don't know about the super chat. I think my guy is still on here. There's Terry Young. He can figure out what that super chat is. I know I've seen it on here before, but
I don't know. We depend on our web guy, really. We just sort of sit down here and talk to you guys, but Terry has to figure everything out for us. We're not really smart when it comes to computer stuff, so we rely on Terry for all that stuff, setting it up.
SEER training. I never did it. I didn't have to. It never came up. There was never. I just stayed gone. We were just in platoons all the time, so they would prioritize this stuff, and there was just never a big push for that back then. Never a push for it. So then they all started pushing Ranger School on all of us. You should have seen that fight. All the chiefs and SEALs were going to have to go through Ranger School because General Lindsay was now the SOCOM guy. Whoa, wait, why would I want to do that? Huh? Just another kick in the balls? No, I've had enough. So, no, it was fine. It was just fine. No, I don't think I missed anything by not doing that. There's somebody else asking something there. Sorry. Takes 30%. Yeah, we have all kinds of guys down here, but mainly this place is set up for the wounded guys. The wounded vets, kids with cancer that come down here. But we bring... I've never said no to anybody, but that's specifically who we target. And the way a lot of the other guys come in is we try to set up donors, guys that really donate down here with the wounded guys when they come. So I get a couple of donors down here with the wounded guys, and it all kind of works out. But according to the 501c3, it's for the wounded guys. We stick to that pretty well. And that definition of wounded guys is going all over the place now. It doesn't necessarily mean a gun shot or a explosion. Guys have been really hurt over there. He was supposed to be here this year, this past month for turkey hunting, and he's blind. And he's an Army guy that we met at a wounded charity up in New York that I went to before all that coronavirus hit. And he was going out on an operation, and he was tightening his rucksack. He had a bungee cord on there, and the bungee cord snapped, and that hook went into his eye. It blinded him, and he fell backwards and hit his head, and that somehow destroyed his vision with both eyes. He can see, he can't tell what he sees.
Oh my God!
It distracted the vision somehow, and I was all up for it. It wasn't a combat injury, but the black sunglasses and the cane, but he can see shade. He can't tell what it is. And we were going to have him down here turkey hunting. I was on that dude for an hour when we met him. We're all up there having a few beers, and can you see that candle on that table? Can you see that, of how? And I deduced that I can put a turkey in front of him. He'll shoot it. He can't really make it out, but you're going to shoot that thing. And then this whole coronavirus thing came up, and it's really got us worried about this year and what we're really going to do. Because I just can't have guys down here that from all over the country, if this thing doesn't calm down, that have been exposed, have that. Just kind of weird. We're playing it by ear. We're working hard.
No, I don't think Marcinko's passed away. It would have been all over the place if he would have, so I don't think so at all. I think Dick is alive and well.
He's fine.
It's almost 8:30. Whew.
OSHA. Bill going through Congressman. You can find a real kick out of that one. Heard of OSHA? Yeah, it's the Sharkman. Nah, he's not dead, or I'd have heard about that one. That's for sure. So what do we got here, girl? What we got here? We're pretty close. We got to take a couple more things on here, and then what are we gonna do tonight?
Bubble bath night.
It's bubble night here.
It's bedtime. When we're off of here, I'm going straight to that bed. That grandson about wore me out this week. And my dogs are chomping at the bit to get in here. It's time for their ice cream. My dogs get vanilla ice cream at night.
Ducks at the Raven. And thank you, George. And, Marcinko passed. I just had some guy. It's such an even stupid story. He was trying to tell me that he got Marcinko put in jail, and Marcinko is rotting in a cell in Mexico. And I was like, he's an hour from here, you dumb. It's just weird what people. No. And it's what's up at. He's being conned by a phony. Is what it is, and he believes he's been talking to Marcinko, but it's a phony. It's a scam. It's one of those dating site kind of scam things where he's never actually talked to him. He thinks he's talking to him. And then he got mad at him, and now he's got him in prison. It's really weird what some people believe on here on the internet. I don't even know where I went with that. I just lost it. I deal a lot now with not only the phonies, but these dating site scams are really, really big. I'm all involved in those.
So somebody asked earlier about how this coronavirus has affected buds. Well, we don't really know, except we probably know as much as you guys do. They were posting up pictures, and the guys were wearing masks. How in the world you put a class of bud students through that wearing masks and keeping 6 feet apart? I don't know. My best guess is it's probably just doing it like they always have. I don't see how in the world they could put anybody through buds training with masks on, but that's just me.
They're up in the 330s. I think they'll break 340. I don't think my buds class has ever had a reunion, and most of them do not. Some of them do. I know the guys that at Team 2 that sunk Noriega's boat during the invasion of Panama just all got together for the 25th or 30th anniversary of that. And there wasn't a bunch of them, just a few guys. But the only real reunions anybody has usually is just the East Coast and West Coast reunions. And they have the Bud's class reunions there. All the guys get together and they buy kegs of beer and they all pose for pictures. Donate and stuff like that. But not a real big deal. I did it. I don't keep up with a lot of it. We're busy up here. I did it with those guys and glad to have done it, but I don't just kind of travel around seeing how everybody's doing and all that stuff.
Well, they have SEAL team reunions on the East Coast and on the West Coast. And on the East Coast, it's always the third weekend in July. I think the East Coast and West Coast, of course, is canceled for this year. It's always in July, but that is bunch of old frogs get together, and that's where you end up seeing your buddies that you went to buds with. That you went through your class with. So that's that. I'm about ready to have a glass of wine and put my feet up. How about you?
We did an hour just before we got on here, took a break. So we'll be back up. I think we're going to do this one at 5 o'clock East Coast time. Just watch. We'll do it next week, but we're going to change these times up. The problem I'm having is I do my thing, and that show on the website takes priority. But you can only do it here on the hour or on half hour. So instead of rushing around, we took a half hour off. So we might start a little later. I'll post it up. Now I'm starting to get confused about next week being on here. Thanks a lot, and appreciate all you guys, all the support, and it's great being on here. This is, I miss YouTube. I do miss YouTube. I miss all the shipmates on here, and there's just a bunch of colorful guys on the Army and the Marines, and just fans from all over the world and supporters of all the stuff that we do in the military and stuff like that. And I do miss it, but I'm too gritty for YouTube to go back to that. On my own website, I can do anything I want. They won't take the videos down. Just a little too gritty. So if you get a chance, swing on over there and we'll get it done.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you very much. And thank you, Dean Beeman. Good night.
Oh, there's Dean.
Bye, guys. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Have a nice night, guys. See you next week. Thanks a lot, Terry. Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, thanks for staying up for us, Terry.
He's tired. He's been yachting all weekend.
Yes, yachting.